Have you ever noticed how some people only show up when they need something? They don't see your worth when you're giving, only when they're taking. They speak in honeyed words, dressed in the disguise of friendship, but their requests always serve them, never you. Trust, like a fire, warms those who respect it. But to those who only take, it is an endless resource, a flame they assume will burn forever, until one day it fades, and suddenly they're left in the cold, wondering why the warmth is gone. A well is cherished when it overflows, but when it runs dry, people walk away. The same goes for relationships. Those who value you only when you give are not friends, they are users. And the moment you stop granting favors is the moment their true intentions are revealed. But how do you recognize the favors that drain you, the ones that mask manipulation as kindness? Stay with me, because the last one will change the way you see people forever. Let's begin. Number 1. Can you lie for me? Few things reveal a person's character more than their willingness to ask you to lie for them. It might start small, a simple excuse for why they missed work, a tiny tweak in a story to make them look better. It's just a white lie, they'll say, no big deal. But here's the truth. When someone asks you to compromise your integrity for their benefit, they're showing you exactly who they are. Lying for someone isn't just about protecting them. It's about putting your own reputation, values, and future at risk. The moment you agree, you're no longer just an observer. You become part of their deception. And if they're comfortable asking you to lie for them today, what's stopping them from lying to you tomorrow? A person who bends the truth for convenience will never hesitate to twist it against you when it serves their purpose. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus once said, "What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right." Integrity isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's right, even when it costs you. The moment you agree to someone else's dishonesty, you teach them that your morals are negotiable. And people who see your integrity as something that can be bent will keep testing how far you'll go. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him John, had a friend who constantly asked for small favors. "Just tell them I wasn't feeling well," or "say I sent that email, even though I forgot." At first, John didn't see the harm, but over time the favors escalated. One day, his friend asked him to cover up a major mistake at work, something that could get others in serious trouble. That's when it hit John. This wasn't about helping a friend. It was about being used. And when John finally refused, his so-called friend turned on him, calling him disloyal. That's when he realized, people who ask you to lie for them will never respect you. They only respect what they can get from you. So how do you handle this? First, set a firm boundary. The moment someone asks you to lie, shut it down. No explanations, no debates, just a simple, "I don't do that." Second, watch their reaction. If they pressure or guilt trip you, that's a clear sign they don't respect you. And finally, remember this. Integrity is priceless. Losing someone who thrives on deception isn't a loss, it's a blessing. At the end of the day, honest people don't ask you to lie for them. And if someone is willing to drag you into their dishonesty, you can be sure they wouldn't hesitate to betray you when it suits them. Protect your integrity, because once it's compromised, it's hard to get back. Number 2. Can you lend me money with no intention to repay? Few things test a relationship like money. At first it seems harmless. A friend or family member asks for a small loan. They tell you it's just temporary, they're in a tough spot, and they'll pay you back soon. "You know I got you next time," they say. or worse, I'd do the same for you. But here's the problem. It's not about the money. It's about their character. Borrowing without the intention of repaying isn't just irresponsibility. It's entitlement. It reveals that they don't see your generosity as something to appreciate, but as something they are owed. And if they can take from you without a second thought, what else are they willing to take? Your time, your trust, your respect. Because the truth is, when someone borrows with no guilt about never paying you back, they are telling you exactly how little they value fairness and how little they value you. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Seneca once said, "A loan creates an enemy." Why? Because money changes the dynamic of a relationship. At first, they are grateful, but soon, guilt or resentment creeps in. Instead of appreciating your help, they start avoiding you. They justify not paying you back. "You have plenty of money. Why are you so worried?" Or, "I'll pay you eventually. Stop bringing it up." But the moment they borrowed without intending to return it, they already disrespected you. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Mark, had a friend who frequently asked to borrow small amounts. It started with $20 here, $50 there, nothing major. Mark didn't think much of it at first, but as time went on, he noticed a pattern. The friend never repaid, and whenever Mark brought it up, the response was always the same. "Oh yeah, I'll take care of that soon." But soon never came. Then, one day, the friend asked for a much larger amount. That's when Mark finally said no. And guess what? The friendship ended almost immediately. The moment Mark stopped being an easy source of money, his so-called friend disappeared. That's when he realized it was never about friendship. It was about what they could get. So how do you handle this? First, never lend what you're not willing to lose. If you give money, consider it a gift, not a loan. Because in personal relationships, most loans never come back. Second, watch how people treat their debts. A responsible person repays without being asked. Someone who avoids it, they never intended to pay you back in the first place. And finally, understand that saying no will reveal their true intentions. If someone only values you when you're financially useful to them, their loyalty was never real. At the end of the day, it's not about money, it's about respect. A person who borrows without the intention of repaying isn't just careless with cash, they're careless with trust. And if they don't respect a debt, they won't respect you either. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe for more powerful insights. Number 3. Can you keep this a secret? Some favors seem small, but carry enormous consequences. One of the most dangerous. When someone asks you to keep a secret, not to protect something innocent, but to cover their wrongdoing. At first, it might not seem like a big deal. Maybe they made a mistake at work and want you to stay quiet. Maybe they did something unethical and need you to look the other way. "Come on, you're my friend. Just keep this between us," they say. But here's the truth. Keeping secrets that protect dishonesty doesn't make you loyal. It makes you complicit. The moment you agree, you're no longer just an observer. You're involved. And if their lie unravels, you don't just witness the fallout. You go down with them. The worst part, people who drag you into their secrets rarely take responsibility when things fall apart. If they're willing to deceive others, what makes you think they wouldn't throw you under the bus to save themselves? This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Silence becomes cowardice when occasion demands speaking the whole truth." Staying quiet in moments where truth is necessary isn't just harmless. It's a form of betrayal. The Stoics believed that integrity isn't just about what we refuse to do. It's about what we choose to stand for. And the moment you protect someone else's deception, you compromise your own values for the sake of their mistakes. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Lisa, had a co-worker who asked for a small favor. He had been slacking off on a project and wanted Lisa to tell their manager he had been working late when he hadn't. He assured her, "It's just this once." She hesitated, but not wanting to cause conflict, she agreed. A few weeks later, he asked again. This time, the issue was bigger, and soon Lisa realized she was constantly being dragged into his web of lies. But when the truth finally came out, guess who got blamed too? Lisa. That's when she learned the hard way. Protecting someone else's deception never ends well. So how do you handle this? First, set a firm boundary. If someone asks you to keep a secret that goes against your integrity, say, "I don't get involved in things like that." No excuses, no debates. Second, observe their reaction. A person with good intentions will respect your stance. Someone manipulative will pressure you or make you feel guilty. That alone reveals their character. And finally, understand that real trust is built on truth. If someone only values you when you help them hide things, they don't respect you. They just see you as useful. At the end of the day, never let someone else's dishonesty compromise your integrity. Because once you protect a lie, you become part of it. And nothing destroys trust faster than deception. Number 4. Can you take the blame for me? Few things reveal a person's character more than how they handle their mistakes. Some people own up to them. Others, they look for someone else to take the fall. It might start small. Maybe they forgot to complete a task at work and ask you to cover for them. Maybe they said something inappropriate in a social setting and expect you to smooth things over. "Come on, it's just this one time," they'll say. Or worse, "I'd do it for you." But here's the truth. People who avoid accountability will betray you the moment it benefits them. The second you agree to take the blame, you set a dangerous precedent. You become their safety net. And the more they get away with it, the more they'll rely on you to clean up their mess. And the worst part, if things spiral out of control, they won't protect you. They'll let you take the fall while they walk away untouched. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Seneca once said, "A dishonest man always blames circumstances, never himself." And that's exactly the kind of person who will ask you to take the blame. Instead of learning from their mistakes, they shift responsibility onto others. And if they're comfortable blaming you once, what's stopping them from doing it again? Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Daniel, had a co-worker who always found ways to avoid trouble. One day, this co-worker made a major mistake on a project. Instead of owning up to it, he asked Daniel to say it was a miscommunication between them. Daniel, wanting to be a team player, agreed. He thought it was harmless. But then it happened again and again. Every time something went wrong, this co-worker found a way to shift the blame onto Daniel. And when their boss finally got fed up, it wasn't the co-worker who faced the consequences, it was Daniel. That's when he realized people who refuse to take responsibility will always find someone else to carry the burden for them. So how do you handle this? First, say no immediately. The moment someone asks you to take the blame, set a firm boundary. "I'm not responsible for your mistakes." No debate, no negotiation. Second, watch how they react. If they get defensive or try to guilt-trip you, that's a clear sign they never respected you in the first place. And finally, distance yourself from people who avoid accountability. Someone who won't own their mistakes is someone who will sacrifice you to protect themselves. At the end of the day, true strength comes from taking responsibility, not running from it. Never carry the weight of someone else's dishonesty, because once you do it for them, they'll expect you to do it forever. Number 5. Can you do this for free? At first it seems harmless. Someone asks for a small favor, a quick task, just a little help. You agree because you don't mind. You're happy to help. But then it happens again and again, until one day you realize something. They're not asking because they appreciate you. They're asking because they know they can get something for nothing. There's a fine line between helping and being used. If someone truly values you, they'll respect your time, effort, and expertise. They won't just take, they'll give back, whether through gratitude, fair exchange, or at the very least, respect. But those who constantly expect you to work for free, they don't see your effort as a gift, they see it as an entitlement. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not waste yourself in rejection. Do not throw away your days in useless resentment. Your energy, time, and talents are valuable. If you waste them on people who don't appreciate them, you're not being generous. You're allowing yourself to be drained." Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Julia, was a talented graphic designer. A friend asked her for a small logo design. She agreed, as a favor. Then that same friend asked for another design, and another. "It's just one more thing," they'd say. And every time Julia felt too guilty to say no. But when she finally hinted at charging for her work, the response was, "Wow, I thought we were friends." That's when she realized, real friends respect your skills. Users only respect what they can get from you. So how do you handle this? First, set boundaries. If someone repeatedly asks for free work, kindly but firmly let them know your time has value. Second, watch their reaction. A good person will respect your limits. Someone who gets upset, they never valued you in the first place. And finally, remember that generosity should be a choice, not an obligation. Helping others is good, but only when it's mutual and appreciated. At the end of the day, your skills, time, and energy are valuable. If someone only comes to you when they need free work, they don't see you as a friend or a professional. They see you as a resource. And that's not someone worth keeping around. Number 6. Can you cover for me? One of the most common ways people take advantage of others is by asking them to cover for their mistakes. It happens everywhere, at work, in friendships, in relationships. Maybe they forgot to finish an important task and want you to take the fall. Maybe they neglected their responsibilities and expect you to clean up the mess. Or maybe they just don't want to deal with something, so they push it onto you. At first, it might seem like a small favor, but over time, you realize this isn't about occasional help. It's about them avoiding responsibility. Here's the truth. Trust is built on accountability. If someone constantly asks you to cover for them, it means they lack the discipline to handle their own duties. And the more you say yes, the more they'll expect it. What starts as a one-time favor quickly becomes a pattern. They don't see it as you helping them out. They see it as you always being available to fix their problems. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Epictetus once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." What does this mean here? It means you can't control someone else's irresponsibility, but you can control whether you allow it to affect you. The more you keep fixing someone else's mistakes, the less control you have over your own time, energy, and peace of mind. And the worst part? If something goes wrong, they won't take the blame. You will. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Ryan, had a co-worker who always asked for favors. At first it was small things. Hey, can you clock me in? I'm running late. Then it became bigger. Can you finish this report for me? I got busy. Ryan, wanting to be a good teammate, agreed. But one day, a major mistake was found in a report he helped with. And guess who got blamed? Not the co-worker, Ryan. The co-worker quickly shifted responsibility. Well, Ryan handled that part, not me. That's when Ryan realized covering for someone else's irresponsibility only puts you at risk. So how do you handle this? First, set boundaries. If someone asks you to cover for them, simply say, "I can't do that." No explanations needed. Second, watch their reaction. A responsible person will respect your decision. Someone who gets upset, they're revealing their entitlement. And finally, remember this: reliability is a strength, but only when it's not being exploited. At the end of the day, responsibility is not something you can transfer. If someone refuses to handle their own duties, they don't deserve your trust. Cover for yourself, not for people who refuse to do their part. Number 7. Can you risk everything while they risk nothing? Few things are more dangerous than someone who expects you to take all the risks while they remain safe on the sidelines. These people will push you to sacrifice your time, your money, your reputation, while they contribute nothing. They'll say things like, "Trust me, this will be worth it," or "Come on, take one for the team." But when things go wrong, you'll find yourself dealing with the consequences alone while they walk away untouched. At first it might seem like teamwork, loyalty, or even an opportunity. But pay attention. If someone constantly urges you to step forward while they hold back, they don't see you as a partner. They see you as a tool. A real friend, a real ally, doesn't ask you to take all the risks while they stay comfortable. If they truly believed in the opportunity, they would invest in it with you. Instead, they wait, watching from a safe distance, ready to enjoy the rewards if things go well, but quick to disappear if they don't. This is where Stoic wisdom offers a crucial lesson. Seneca once said, "The willing are led by fate, the reluctant are dragged by it." What does this mean? It means that when you allow others to manipulate you into making sacrifices for their benefit, you are no longer in control of your life. You are being pulled into their plans, their ambitions, and their convenience, while they remain protected from the fallout. People like this never step up when it's their turn to sacrifice. They thrive on finding someone else to carry the burden for them. And if you allow it once, they will return again and again. A guy I know, let's call him Jake, had a friend who was always full of big ideas, business ventures, investments, high-risk moves. Every time, the pitch was the same. "This is the next big thing. You should put in the money first, and once it takes off, I'll join in." Jake trusted him. He invested his time, his savings, his energy. But when things didn't work out, his friend simply shrugged and said, "Well, you didn't have to do it." That was the moment Jake realized. This so-called friend never intended to take a risk. He only wanted someone else to absorb the failure. This is how these people operate. They make big promises, paint an exciting vision, but when it's time to act, they hesitate. They encourage you to jump in while they remain in the shadows. And the moment things fall apart, They rewrite history to make it seem like they were never involved. If someone constantly pushes you to take a leap while they hold back, it's not because they believe in you, it's because they don't want to bear the consequences themselves. So how do you protect yourself? The first step is to ask, are they taking the same risk as me? If the answer is no, that's a red flag. A true partner stands beside you, not behind you. If someone refuses to invest what they expect you to invest, you already have your answer. The second step is to set firm boundaries. If someone keeps pushing you to sacrifice while they remain safe, tell them, I'm only in if we both take the risk. No exceptions. And finally, trust actions, not words. If they truly believed in what they're asking you to do, they wouldn't hesitate to take the leap with you. Life is too short to carry the risks of those who refuse to step up. A Stoic knows that risk is a part of life, but only when it is taken wisely. Choose your battles carefully and never let someone else gamble with your future while they sit back and watch. At the core of every strong relationship, whether in friendship, business, or life, is mutual effort and shared responsibility. Trust isn't built on empty words, it's built on actions. When someone asks you to take all the risks while they stay safe, that's not partnership, that's exploitation. Real connections are based on fairness, respect, and reciprocity, not one person constantly sacrificing while the other reaps the benefits. Your time, energy, and integrity are some of the most valuable things you own. Guard them wisely. The moment you start protecting your worth, you'll notice something powerful. Those who truly respect you will support your boundaries, and those who only saw you as useful will fade away. And that's a good thing. Life is too short to carry burdens that were never yours to bear. You don't owe anyone blind loyalty, especially those who wouldn't do the same for you. So, ask yourself, who in your life truly values you, and who only values what they can get from you? If this message resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Just type "no more favors" and share your thoughts. And if you're ready to build stronger boundaries and protect your peace, stay tuned. There's so much more to uncover. You have the power to choose who stays in your life and on what terms. Keep moving forward, stand firm, and never settle for less than the respect you deserve.